Okay, so all of that was in read only. But I think you were able to read it, so we'll give that a shot, see if that works. Man, I'm going to say it again for what, the sixth day? That why isn't there something that tells me that I'm not on mic? You're broadcasting to the world. Google has to know that we're not always in the Hangout window. They have to know that. And I'm not going to shout at the rooftops because it's actually my responsibility to know whether or not I'm on mic. But yo, yo, yo to the yo, yo, yo. Phew, I made it. Welcome to August 16th, 2017. We're at the top of the hour on the East Coast of the United States of America. And so let me let you know that today we've switched the title a little bit so that we could get back to our BabyPips learning cryptocurrency charting. And so make sure that you head to babypips.com. You can go back through the content. It is long form content, and so be prepared. But that's how I've decided to address the BabyPips learning modules. And I think that some of it will stick. And then if we can get it into short form, that will make it even probably much more popular. And is that what you say? Much more popular? Something that I've also done, started doing it a couple of days ago, and then I think maybe I've got my columns right today. But anyway, we are using TweetDeck. So in lieu of going into the minute chart, what I may do off and on in the pauses is that you will see TweetDeck. So of course, the popular story yesterday was the Bitcoin satellite. So you'll notice that here on the left rail. And on the right rail is the YouTube link to the Bitcoin in Space Blockstream takes off with Bitcoin satellites and the new outreach for the Bitcoin Mumble called Block Digest. And they will go live again today. We're very excited. They did their pilot yesterday. And if I'm not mistaken, they're just shy of 600 views, and their subscriber base is growing. Go down below where you'll see communities to support or communities that I recommend. It's down below in the description. Give it a shot. The link takes you to the channel and the most recent content. So make sure that you subscribe and take a listen and participate in their chat as well. You'll also notice Run Really, who is just this fantastic ball of energy. He's decided to bring OBS completely to YouTube with cryptocurrency. It's just awesome stuff. His link is down below as well. And if you go over there, you'll notice that there's a little box, and that little box has a replay or a playlist of either my prior day's work, or depending on how long I keep something in the can, once it goes into archive and it goes into playlist, and so it's a constant replay of my content. But you can be in his really cool, world of music and mining and thought and care, and he has very interesting people. We have a surf report. It's the person that is doing the surf report. I don't know how they say this, but he's the first elite athlete to be supported by a cryptocurrency. I think that's how they say it. And so we're very excited to see those kinds of relationships birth. And so make sure that you check out over there. And I'm in that chat quite frequently too, if you prefer, a busier kind of live chat. And he is 24/7, 365. He's in his second 7-day run on YouTube. So he's breaking all sorts of very cool records over there. All right, so here we go to the chart. As far as you can see the columns that I've made. We have ETH, ICO today, solar eclipse, and then of course the YouTube video from yesterday. But what I will do is I will change this one now. I was trying to get some counts to Bitcoin. So we'll let that load. This should be probably a very active column. Less active will be the solar eclipse until maybe the day gets going. Next in the middle there is for ICO. ICO. It's not always going to be for initial coin offerings because ICO is also another hashtag over at Twitter. And we have Ethereum, ETH. And we'll go over to CoinMarketCap and see if there's any, this can be kind of more of an open column for what might be popular. And then also this column here for the bigger news stories. So yesterday, of course, it was Bitcoin satellites. That story is being replayed about every 30 seconds. And we'll see if that slows up, and then we'll throw another story in there. What else can I tell you about the TweetDeck? Let me see. I think that's all that I have there. I'm not following any investment partners. So I'm going to try and see if you guys like this sort of thing, and if it's enough visual information for you to know that I'm actually in pause or I'm not on mic and I'm working. In lieu of, maybe you can let me know what you would prefer. In lieu of, we go over to the Bitcoin USD Coinbase chart. This is my 15-minute chart. I had to lower the trend line. You'll notice too if I hover that the two dots there are from the clone trend support line from up above. And when that trend line broke, if you knew anything over at the Mumble, I had said I'm not really crazy about drawing these channel lines. Many times we don't get what we're expecting, but it did break channel, it came back inside, but it kept breaking, and here we are. It took off of the 96. So I brought the channel down, okay? But I'm keeping the original angle of the channel, and that's why normally this dot here would be over here, but I'm keeping it a clone of the original channel. So what this channel line does, which is a lot different than the original channel line, is that because the heel came in traveling to the upside, the heel was created traveling to the upside, what we may see is a breakthrough trend. It's the same, approach and philosophy. It's just that these trend lines just are not, they're just not my thing, man. I can draw them and they keep getting broken. And I know that I know what I'm doing. It's just that with Bitcoin, sometimes we just have these massively disturbing moves. And, you shouldn't be chasing the trend line. The trend line either works or it doesn't. But this morning, when I brought this down, I was like, wait a minute here. Everyone, the social listening tells me that this trade is actually going to break up. And the breakdown, of course, is always being considered. But in social listening, there's just so much positive news, and people are looking for it probably to return to free market. So this makes total sense then. This particular channel makes complete sense. I haven't form-fitted it. I just brought it down from the prior line. And I did print that chart out. I will print this one out right now for the chat so that we have social proof and record. And go to the chat room. Let me get my pop-out chat. And so the chart is there. And it's the BTC USD Coinbase with new channel support line drawn from yesterday's break of channel short. Okay, let's see if that works. And just keep an eye on it. So we'll go into, let's say, we'll go into a 3-minute. And we'll do the 3-minute as we're waiting for the US market open. So we'll do 3-minute for the next, I don't know, 9 minutes or so, and then we'll move into the 1-minute. And see that ruby's narrowing. Pick up off the 96. That's a good sign, a good early sign of money flow. And we'll see what happens. Just go ahead and we'll keep that running, I guess. And then we'll get into BabyPips probably as soon as the market opens. That's okay with you guys. Let's make sure that I've got links, links, links. We didn't do any promotion to the outside world. I have to get my headphones on and make sure that I monitor what's going on with the Mumble today to see when they're going to be going live so that there's no conflicts and that I can participate in promoting that channel. Okay, so we know about the BabyPips. We know where we're at here. I'm going to go back over to TweetDeck then. So is everything okay? Okay, guys, I'll be on mute for just a couple of moments. Okie dokes. All right, let's move off from TweetDeck. We'll go back on over and we'll run into the 1 minute. We'll let the 1 minute kind of float around until 9:30. Kind of see how the market is reacting to this Wednesday, August 16th, 2017. Certainly more activity today still with the Bitcoin satellite conversation. Seeing some things from pundits coming in. Maybe they've had a chance to take a listen and maybe have more conversations themselves. There's the trade. And the only other thing that I have to do is check on Mumble. I call it my mumble. It's not my mumble, just so you guys know. Some of the forecasting on the charts are kind of fun now. People, giving themselves the freedom. And then the other thing that we need is the MX4. All right, the US Open really didn't get us too much. We may be able to go back and see that the money flow is to the upside, but as Ruby is narrowing here, it even gets a little bit more dangerous inside of this trade. So what we've done is taken from the 1 minute now to the 3 minute, and then when we're 5 minutes after the open, we'll move the candle to the 5 minute candle until we get to the 15-minute candle, and that's where we'll hold court. So now we're seeing some activity come in. Remember, you're looking at a 3-minute bar. So that was very smart to do. So maybe the US market is running about 3 minutes behind. But as I said, when it goes to 5 minutes, we'll move it to the 5-minute bar. And then when it goes to the 15-minute, we'll keep it on the 15-minute bar for the duration of the broadcast. We know that the channel that's built there that you see that's slicing through is a support channel. It is a clone of a channel that was built higher up, but when it was broken, it got broken overnight, came back in the channel, and then when I revisited the chart, I decided that I would clone it and bring it down a level. I think that maybe that was the correct thing to do. We'll see. The channel heel entered to the long side. So as it resolves itself inside of the channel, then we should see the breakout to the longs or for the bulls, which I generally is what I'm hearing on the street, is that the bulls are going to win out on this particular session of news and interest and ICO raises, and just generally the sentiment is to continue to take the trade long. It's always scary though when the trade goes short, especially Bitcoin, because those short latches can, they latch on, pardon me, they latch onto those ledges, and it can be so serious and happen very quickly. And a lot of people find themselves what's called bag holding, and then of course they're just waiting and praying for dear life. But the recovery, the memory recovery for Bitcoin in the last 6 months has just been stunning. I should probably show you guys a little bit more of tops and bears trying to take out the tops, and then the bulls just come back in. They come back in with a renewed sense of encouragement. They come back with what's called new money, or sideline money decides to come in, and so it's been really marvelous. That's why even though you might take a bear bias, it's only because people have been, when you're in social situations and you're trying to explain your idea of the trade always has this undercurrent of bear. If you are hearing that and hearing that too often, always have the counter. And even when you're looking at your own chart, always have the counter argument. It's not going to change anything anyway. What you think isn't going to change what price is going to do. What you think. And this is one of the critical things about any trader, is that you have to get your ego out of the way. You have to just completely, if you can, doesn't have anything to do with you level of confidence, or that it should destroy your self-esteem or anything like that. If you're wrong, you're just wrong. And the market will let you know. The market is very smart like that. It will let you know. It's just a matter of how you want to react. So, and you do need to react. Because if you don't have some sort of a plan or a thesis in mind, the trade has this very unique way of making sure that you hear from it. Guess what? You don't have a plan, you're going to be part of our plan. And if our plan is to have you put money on the trade and take it from you, that's what the trade will do. It's just the mystery of the market. It's fascinating. So always have a plan, have a great chart. Doesn't have to be mine. And it doesn't even have to be someone else's. We'll take you back over to the BabyPips chart widget for TradingView. Start very raw And a lot of traders, even though they have complex charts, they'll always off to the side have something that is just bare bones, no ideas or ideals on it, so that they could just see it for what it is, instead of lines that we somehow get so committed to. All right, the trade is at 41.1849 right now. It's still down 1% on the day or on the session. Go ahead and close up the news side of the trading view. And because we're now at 9:38, it's time to move to the 5-minute bar. 9:39, there's our 5-minute bar. And now we can see that our drawings are getting a little distorted, so we'll go ahead and take the drawings out. You can see that Ruby is thinning, but we are having price activity above Ruby. So this will be a very interesting resolution. Also, you'll notice that the support line is now, it's reacting off of the free market too. It's acting as an ascending wedge. And this is another thing too about these very classical chart patterns. So many times they just don't work on cryptocurrency. It's that rare time where especially channels, that it's called what I call jumping the broom. It literally just, it can be going along, and here you are, you're at the terminus, and you're like, dudes, you're supposed to be doing this right now, because that's the classic, format. But it will do what price will literally jump the broom. So where you thought that the short would take off, it just continues to go in opposite of the classical chart pattern. So it's cool to put these chart patterns on your charts. We go through, it's almost like a craze, you'll hear about ascending wedges, and you'll hear that for 6 weeks. And all of a sudden, no, it's asymmetrical triangles. That's the way to go. And I'll take you over to Finviz so that you guys can see some of the basic chart channel patterns that people go through. It's like they go through some sort of seasonal craze, or I don't know exactly what that's all about, but it's like it goes through like wildfire. And maybe it's just very typical of when people convene. They all want to be seeing the same thing at the same time, but seeing the same thing at the same time is not it's not really like that in the market. It is like that in social situations, but migrating that kind of technique, that hoard or herding, can be very dangerous. So be careful. All right, so we're just hanging out here, really. And in 4 minutes, we'll go to the 15-minute bar. Let's check up on TweetDeck, and let's make sure that I'm not on mute. Yes, I'm not on mute. How cool is that? Right, head over to TweetDeck. And repeating, of course, we have the Bitcoin satellite story. The ETH story, the ICO watch list, the solar eclipse story, and then Bitcoin over here. So 5 columns over at TweetDeck, and I'll go ahead and I'll refresh, because TweetDeck can get a little stuck sometimes. And it looks like the BitMEX REKT got in there. That's interesting. It reloaded. All right, so let's get rid of this one. So we don't need that one. We'll put solar eclipse over to the far right, or better yet, why don't we take the solar eclipse column and bring it over to next to the Bitcoin MEX. Correct. Let's see how that works out. We'll refresh. See if we like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then our icons are on the right. Is that correct? So maybe too many columns. But if we don't keep the Ethereum up, I feel like we might miss something today. In 2 minutes, we'll have a 15-minute bar. Let's go back here. That's all lined up well. And don't forget, we'll be going over to BabyPips in a few minutes and continue on with our grade 2 Japanese candlesticks. And where we're at right now is this lesson here. Japanese candlestick cheat sheet is where we left off, and then we'll go to candlesticks with support and resistance and the summary, and that's right, grade 3 takes us to Fibonacci. Grade 3 Fibonacci. Right. And it's time to move to the 15-minute bar. And we're back where we were, the Granddaddy McDaddy. So you can see, even though the US opened up, you can notice that there's a lot of volatility inside of the squeeze here. Even though it bounced off of the 96, the 96 is actually sideways a little bit. Would have been nice to have seen more activity this morning, but we didn't get it. And we'll be on mute for just a little bit here. Alrighty, in about 3 minutes, couple minutes, 2 minutes at the top of the hour, we will be getting into our baby pips, we are now in the lesson Candlesticks with Support and Resistance. In the chat, you'll see that I've given you the name of the lesson and the URL if you wanted to visit it yourself. BabyPips.com coming up. With the trade at 41.2887, still down on the session. TweetDeck is pretty active today. And I'll run over to Twitter after we've gone through this lesson, you know, the general all-purpose Twitter, because I've closed off the notifications column, I think. All right, let me do my opener then. Actually, let me see what I should do about that. Let me come on over to my own channel. And here we are here. Mute. And the chat looks pretty good. It does. All right, so let's scroll down to the section here. And if we're ready to go, on 3, 2, 1. Yo, yo, yo to the yo, 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 phew, I made it. Here we are at the top of the hour, 10 o'clock a.m. New York time. Welcome to Baby Pips with BeautyBubble, where you're going to learn cryptocurrency charting. In today's video, we are in grade 2. The lessons continue on the Japanese candlesticks. If you head over to the chat, you'll notice that the name of the lesson and also the direct URL that takes you to the page. So that you know, on all my social channels, I am known as BeautyBubble. My ideas shared generally are a puree of beauty, technology, financial markets, fashion, and books. Why is that going back and forth like that? You could think of my outreach as trading well leads you to living well. In this video, we will showcase price charts with a special focus on cryptocurrency charting. At times, the video may be in audio only or in pause for breaks. And for example, that is my reminder to make sure that my mic is on. And it is. Thank the Lord for that. All right. Content value on a scale of 1 to 10, there's been no preparation or script written, and the quality of production is very low. I don't know why it's going back and forth like that. That's kind of odd to see what that's all up to. And so I've pre-rated it at a 2. From a 1 to 10, it is a 2. There's no affiliation with TradingView or BabyPips.com, and none should be implied by reference or tone of my voice or in the editing of this video. Should there be an affiliate relationship where commissions or promotional considerations are made to myself, the creator, you, the viewer, will. What is that all about? Why am I getting that? Hold on, guys. I am getting a, hold up just a moment. I'm getting a redirect to MX4. Let me shut my chat down and let's see what the deal might be with that. There should be no reason whatsoever that my YouTube, let me go through this again. What's going on here? What is going on? You guys can see that though, right? On the replay. Did you guys catch that on the replay? Go ahead and thumbs ourselves up. All right, well, I'll keep going, even though what's happening is my video in the description is flickering between Runreely's description and my description, even though this video is not in a play watch. playlist. Now, let me keep going here. There's no affiliation, right, about all of that. If there was, then you would, I don't know what's going on. I might have to close it down. My description is flickering off between Really's description, which is deep and has a lot of links to mine. All right, there's my Bitcoin address. Here's the tough part, the disclaimer. Please be advised that all content in the chart shown is meant for entertainment and educational purposes only. Trading the stock, bond, currency, cryptocurrency, commodity, and futures markets can be rewarding, but is also risky. Be aware that you can lose money and in some ways lose more than you have. It can also be profitable, but not without significant risks. You are responsible for your own independent investment transactions. The charts shown are not to serve as an investment advisory service. I highly encourage you to seek professional advice in regard to your own financial decisions. Information you may get from any chart shown and its further discussion in chat rooms or forums may not reflect my opinions at the time. The charts shown and their content is not a solicitation, nor an offer for professional investment advice, nor is it an offer to buy or sell stocks, bonds, currencies, cryptocurrencies, commodities, and/or futures. You'll also notice that I've started a new section called Channels and Communities to Support and Know About. Number one is Block Digest, hosted by Mr. Chris Ellis. There is the YouTube link. They already have their very first pilot that is in the channel with almost 800 views, I think, just from yesterday. The next in line is, that is crazy, my stream is going in between his stream. Really, what is that about? Let me close out this window. I'm going to close the window out. I have never seen that happen before, people. Never, never. We're going to really run fast then through this lesson so that I can deal with that because that's going to bother me. It looks like we still have some softness at 41.2588, down 0.77% on the session. Check into TweetDeck. Just kind of go through our little run up. Okay. Everything looks pretty good. Indexio. Indexio. Might want to add them for prices. Indexio. All right, well, we'll just keep going. In this section, we will be looking at these basic candlestick patterns that we have learned in the previous sections to make sound trading decisions. To make sound trading decisions. Remember, candlesticks are useless on their own, and you must always consider market environment and what price is telling you. But before we begin, just a few words of caution. As with any technical indicator or tool, if candlesticks point to a reversal or continuation, that does not mean it will happen. This is the Forex market and nothing is set in stone. Using candlesticks with support and resistance. The simplest way to use candlesticks is with support and resistance levels, because support and resistance levels determine areas where buyers and sellers have set up their defenses. Looking at how candlesticks react to them will help you greatly in predicting where price will head next. Here's a Forex real-world example. In this scenario, you can see that there is resistance around one spot 4900 level. You badly want to enter, but you decide to wait instead because the candle that touched this level looks very bullish. 2 candles later, you spot a nice 3 inside down candlestick pattern, which is considered all right, I'll continue here. Which is considered a very potent bearish signal. Using the formation as your sell signal confirmation, you go ahead and short the pair. Since you're a smart trader, you also set a stop loss above the resistance. Because of your high level of patience and your knowledge of candlestick formations, you have greatly increased the odds in your favor. Let's see what happened after you shorted. Kapow! The pair almost immediately goes in your favor and nets you hundreds of pips. You go to the nearest car dealership and buy yourself an exotic sports car and a jet with matching colors. You might be thinking, why do I have to pair support and resistance levels with candlesticks? I could get a lot more signals with just candlesticks and make more money. To answer that, take another look at the same chart of your hypothetical trade. We've taken the liberty of highlighting some potential trade signals based solely on candlestick formations. Take a look. Hammer, oops, stopped out. Evening star, sell, question mark. Arc, stopped out again. Doji, buy. Third time to get stopped out. I will cry now. If you had traded on those candlestick formations alone, you would have lost every single time. By simply pairing candlestick formations with support and resistance levels, you have increased your odds. You're winning. I don't understand that. By simply pairing candlestick formations with support and resistance levels, you have increased your odds. I think that means winning. Next lesson will be summary of Japanese candlesticks. Summary of Japanese candlesticks. All right, I don't think I have my chat pop out anymore. Pretty sure I don't. Right, I don't. So what should I do? Okay, let's see see if we're getting any better on. We'll just see how this works out here. Go back over here. The first thing that we do, everybody, is we grab the lesson name and we bring it over to the chat. Remember, the chat gets archived. And then the URL, it's the same deal. Here's the URL. And that puts you into the page itself, and we'll continue reading. We've covered a lot about Japanese candlesticks. Hopefully you're not at wit's end, but are actually now fired up about candlestick charts. Maybe even ignited a flame that becomes a lifelong passion for Japanese candlesticks. Let's summarize what you've learned about Japanese candlesticks. If the close is above the open, then a hollow candlestick, usually displayed as white, is drawn. If the close is below the open, then a filled candlestick, usually displayed as black, is drawn. The hollow or filled section of the candlestick is called the real body or body. The thin lines poking above and below the body display the high-low range and are called shadows. The top of the upper shadow is the high. The bottom of the lower shadow is the low. Long bodies indicate strong buying or selling. The longer the body is, the more intense the buying or selling pressure. Short bodies imply very little buying or selling activity. In street lingo, bulls mean buyers and bears mean sellers. Upper shadows signify the session high, lower shadows signify the session low. There are many types of Japanese candlestick patterns, but they can be categorized into how many bars make up the pattern. There are single, dual, and triple candlestick formations. The most common types of Japanese candlestick patterns are following. They've given us a nice graphic. Number of bars, single. You would get spinning tops, dojis, marabozzo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Inverted hammer, hanging man, shooting star. Number of bars in double formations are bullish and bearish engulfing, tweezer tops and bottoms. Triple bar formations give you morning and evening stars, 3 black crows, and 3 white soldiers, or 3 inside up and downs. And there are hundreds of these, by the way. So you might want to start your own list if you don't have a good book. Just refer to the Japanese Candlesticks cheat sheet for a quick reference on what these candlestick patterns mean. Combine candlestick analysis with support and resistance levels for best results. And finally, here are some words of wisdom. There's always wisdom. Just because Japanese candlesticks hint at a reversal or continuation, it doesn't mean it will happen for sure. You must always consider market conditions and what price action is telling you. This is the Forex market, and nothing is set in stone. And if you're looking for a more in-depth look at Japanese candlesticks, you can't go wrong with the book Japanese Candlestick Charting, a Contemporary Guide to the Ancient Techniques of the Far East. It's written by the man himself, and there's his name, Steve Nisan. I say Nisan, it might be Nisan. There we go. And we will not be doing running into the Fibonacci trading today because the trade has taken a little bit more of a move to the south. And thank you very much. This has been BeautyBubble, studying BabyPips.com along with you guys. And today's lesson was a continuation of Japanese candlesticks, plural. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Go ahead and close the window out. Okay, so that's that. And tomorrow's lesson will be the Fibonacci. And who knows, I might get to it tonight, but I hope I spelled Fibonacci correctly. All right, we'll go back over to TweetDeck. I'll close out my window because I don't really have to be inside. Looks like by reloading, things worked out pretty well. Yeah, things are holding up pretty well now. Okay. Yep, we're good. Close out the window. What I will do, however, is run over to MX4 just to make sure that things are going okay. And let's see. There he is right there. And we're good enough. Okay. It's running well. And back over to 4120. Still, you don't see a lot of action, but I'm more concerned with the percentages today. I think that this flickering back and forth between down 0.75, down 0.1 point plus, that is really going to tire a lot of people. They're trying to figure out if they should get in. They'll start to get very lazy and complacent and start making some big errors with their trading decisions. So I'm more concerned with the percentages flickering up and down. Here's back to our TweetDeck. And we'll spend a little bit time in here while I put myself on mute for a little bit. And once again, thank you very much. Make sure that if you want to, subscribe to the channel, hit the little notification bell so that you know when I am going live. It looks as though I'm going live at least once a day to just try and cram, you know, especially the BabyPips, just get that work done, get it on tape, as they would say, or in the can. And so you hit the notification bell, and then it gives you, notice that I'm live. And then I'm super encouraging you to make comments in the chat, just so that I can see how does the community chat really work over at YouTube. I've been sort of told and been playing with it a little bit. I do believe that they would love for us to spend more time in the community chat on YouTube. Because it's kind of acts as a central location instead of it being event, uh, like central just to the event. So we want to make sure that that gets kind of going. If it doesn't, at least I'll be learning something about it, maybe from another channel that's encouraging participation in the chat. That's it. I really think so. All right, so I'll be on mute. Hope that works for everybody. Okay, as I close out my windows, you'll see me go through. So I've closed out the dragonsden.io. As soon as I get a little bit more information, you'll see it down in the communities block of the description area. We've closed out our Reddit subreddit for Bitcoin, and now we're about to close out the other windows as I say goodbye for the Hangout today. So really, I'll check back with you later. I'm going to close out your window now. And of course, we have TweetDeck. Good enough for TweetDeck. It kind of held up today for us, I think. And I hope that this gives you some encouragement to head over to TweetDeck. It's a really interesting experience. For some people, it just might move too quickly, but I think once in a while for you to see the amount of news stories that are coming through, and maybe a couple of them will kind of jump out at you. But for now, we have the Bitcoin column, the BitMEX wrecked liquidation, and we're always watching this. There's a really great relay of this over at the Bitcoin Mumble if you wanted to check it out. Solar eclipse, of course, it's a natural. Bitcoin satellite, still a big story. Today on Bitcoin, noticed again another, I guess Bloomberg is going to put it back on its rerun list. And then just Twitter, to see who's waking up and who's talking about what. And instead of doing the trend, we tried to do the trend earlier today, and nothing was really picking up. So I just decided to play around a little bit with the Twitter column. Okay, and then also remember to refresh your TweetDeck because there is so much information that they have to organize and set inside of your columns for you. But that's TweetDeck. And close out TweetDeck and take you back over to the chart. And now we're just back to the Mac Daddy, the BTC USD Coinbase. All right, so let me close this up. Thank you very much, actually, for, I don't even know how long we've been on today. We'll make sure that this gets over to the MX4 playlist so that really we'll pick it up and we're getting that fresh content over there. So bye-bye, guys.